What's going on, guys? JSkeleton here, the brand new video for you guys. Today we are continuing the road to Black Ops 3. We're approaching the launch of Black Ops 3, and it's close, man. We are extremely close to the launch. I'm super stoked. Hopefully you guys are too. In this series, I've been just, telling you guys different stories about me to some Call of Duty gameplay, and I hope you guys have been enjoying it, man, because, I'm just, I don't know. I don't think my life's super exciting, but sometimes I guess other people like to hear other people's life stories and stuff. Sometimes I can find it interesting. So we talked about a lot so far, man. One of the episodes we talked about some injuries and stuff like that, and I also mentioned talking in one of my videos about health issues. That's not going to be this video. We are going to talk about one specific health issue. But it's not really my current issue, so I think I'm gonna save that one for a later episode. If all goes as planned. But I want to talk about one specific issue because I think this one issue can make a whole video in and of itself. So I figured I would talk about that. I really have no idea what I'm calling this video yet, so you're gonna know obviously by the thumbnail and stuff. Because it's kind of hard to really give this a title, but it has to do with a heart issue I used to have. And so I figured I'd let give you guys a little bit of a story on it, because it is pretty crazy if you think about it. I'm going to try to make it as condensed as I can, because, it is kind of a long version, a long story. So I'm going to try to, give you guys as much details compacted as I can. So, back in the day, when I was younger, I'm going to say like early teens maybe, I started noticing it. Every so often when I'd be active or skateboarding or something, I'd feel this really weird kind of sensation in my chest, in my heart. It's like my heart would trigger into some kind of weird, rhythm where it didn't feel right, but I never really thought anything of it. It wasn't super bad at the time stuff, but it kind of felt weird, and, it was like my heart would like start pounding for a period of time and racing. It was really weird. I never understood it, but as I grew older, it started getting worse and worse. I noticed it a little bit more, frequently and stuff, but it wasn't all the time. It was just randomly at random times when I was active. And I think it was when I was approaching maybe, let's say 16, 17, where it started getting a lot more frequent and stuff, and it would go into these episodes where I was freaking out, man. It was like my heart would be pounding so hard out of my chest. I felt like I was having a heart attack or something. It was crazy. And I really didn't get what was going on, man. It was super intense. And I remember once I was playing hockey, and as soon as I stepped onto the ice, for some reason it just triggered. I don't even know why. Or other times I was playing, not playing, I was skateboarding or something, and I'd do a trick, and all of a sudden it just, go into that rhythm. And it was odd. It didn't make any sense, and usually went away within, maybe 10, 15 minutes or something. But as time progressed, these episodes were lasting a little bit longer, and they were sketching me out, man. I was getting pretty freaked out. Obviously, my parents didn't know what was going on. My friends were confused too, because they've seen it happen a couple times too, and no one really understood it. It was kind of, it was this weird. I don't even know the word. It was just weird. But yeah, so as time went on, it was happening more and more, and there was this one time where I was, I was playing a show, because I was in a band, and I was playing a show, and I was, thankfully this show I was only doing backup vocals. I was doing like screams. It was like a rock metal band, and depending where I put this episode, I'm going to be talking in another episode about my music life. This episode is either going to be right before those episodes or right after it. I'm not sure where I'm going to place it. So you guys might know my band life by now, or you might not. So I'm not sure yet. But yeah, so anyways, very briefly, I was playing a show, and it triggered into this rhythm. And, I've been talking to my doctor and stuff about it. Had done a bunch of heart tests and stuff. Made me wear this thing called a Holter monitor for like 2 weeks or something, but it never went into that rhythm in the periods of times where they would be testing me. So they never really caught it, and so my doctors kind of thought it was like anxiety or something. Doctors, they can't find something, they instantly just try to brush it off into like a mental health issue or something, you know, like, oh, well, you're just anxious or something, or you're just this, you know, something mental, right? Something that's, you know, in your head or something. But this one time, I was like I said, I was playing a show. I'm not going to go into too many details in case I haven't, you know, released that episode yet. Like I said, I don't know where I'm putting my episodes right now. You know, I got all these ideas, but I'm kind of, you know, I got to place them out. But this one time, I was playing a show. I was doing only backup vocals, and thankfully, it was like my very last part. And it was only the second song. It was only, you know, I only had parts in the first two songs, and so I just kind of put the mic down. And I slipped off backstage, and I was tripping out. So I go outside, and I had a friend there, and I was like, "Yo, check this out." And I know it sounds kind of weird when the way I put it now, but I took his hand to put on my chest because like I wanted him to feel it because it was crazy. He felt it, and he seen I was going insane. So he went inside and got the person who was organizing the show, which I knew like for most of my life, and she called the paramedics because you know, it was pretty crazy. And then my other friend was there, and he didn't tell me at the time. He told me later on, but he said that he could see my shirt like moving because my heart was pounding so hard and fast. Anyway, so the paramedics came. They hooked me up to the monitor. They recorded it. So finally they caught it. They caught what was going on. It was going insane. No joke. It was like probably, I think they said 230 beats per minute, which is insane, okay? Just to give you guys an idea, if you guys don't know a lot about, you know, heart rhythms and stuff, your resting rate typically is, you know, if you're healthy, it could be, you know, 60, around that, 60 to 70. It could be as low as 50 if you're an athlete. But, you know, it's typically around 60 to 80 at rest. If you run a marathon, you know, it might come up to like 180 or something. So 230 at rest was, you know, that's not right. There's something seriously wrong. Like they said, it seemed like I ran like a crazy intense marathon, you know, or something like that. So they recorded it and put me in the ambulance, and they injected me with this thing called what they call the doomsday drug, which is literally how it sounds. They call it that because what it is, it's this thick substance that goes into your veins and into your heart, and very briefly, but still long enough for you to freak out, it stops your heart literally for like 3 or 4 seconds or something, or it could be like 5 seconds. It felt like a lifetime though. It stops your heart, so then your heart can kick back into another, you know, a normal rhythm. Okay, so they inject me with that. Excuse me. And they inject me with that, and I kid you not, my eyes are starting to go white because like my heart had stopped for a couple seconds. But that's what it was supposed to do. So it was all good, and then it started going to a rhythm, a normal rhythm and stuff. So everything was fine. But they sent that to, you know, my doctor and stuff. And anyways, long story short, I'm going to cut out, you know, a lot of the details there. They basically found out it was this thing called it was like an extra pathway, they called it. Your heart has kind of like a, you know, a pathway where these electrical currents go through, you know, from your AV node. I sound like a huge like medical nerd or something right now. Anyways, that causes your heart to contract. So an extra pathway is just kind of like, you know, very simply put, when you're growing, you have certain heart tissues that are supposed to rip and form into other, you know, parts of your heart. I guess it was like a part that didn't like tear properly or something like that. So it caused an extra pathway. It was close to the AV node, which is your natural pacemaker, if you will. So that's why it didn't always, you know, it didn't always go into the rhythm, and it was hard to catch, and it was only sometimes. So basically, you know, I was like 18 or something, and I went for the surgery, which I thought was like the end of my life, to be honest. You go for any surgery, and it kind of feels like the end of your life. But they very simply, you know, they go through an artery, and they go inside your heart with like all these, you know, cables, these like medical cables, and they try to, you know, trigger your heart into that rhythm to find out where this extra pathway is, which they did. And my heart was going like crazy on the table. They have to keep you awake, or else they can't trigger it. You know, if they put you to sleep, because then your heart is too, you know, quiet and stuff. They put me into that rhythm. And the doctor found it, and then they go in with another cable, again, through your arteries inside your heart. It's really weird, man. Obviously, you're numbed and stuff, but it's still really weird. And they go in your heart, and they burn that spot with, like, radiation or something. And no joke, I kind of said it feels like the Grinch's heart melting. It was a really warm sensation in my heart. It was kind of funny in a way, but not funny, too. So they burnt that. And you know, and then, you know, recovery is pretty simple. They just put because there was an artery in my leg that they had to go through. So they just put like a heavy sandbag on the artery to kind of, you know, clog it up, you know, for a few hours, and then I was free to go home the same day and had to rest for like 2 weeks, and I never really experienced it again. So that was that. So it did work, thankfully, but it was pretty crazy, man. It was pretty intense, and it was pretty freaky, to be honest. And so I've always kind of been, you know, self-conscious, you know, about my heart and stuff too now. And with my current issues, which I'm going to talk, you know, current health issues, which I'm going to talk about in another episode, you know, it does affect the heart in certain ways, not the same way, but still certain ways. So I'm kind of always more, you know, on edge about it. So you know, it's not fun, man. You know, obviously, especially, you know, when you're young, any kind of thing like this is not fun. A lot of people never really understood it, and a lot of my friends kind of thought I had a heart attack or something. So I might put something like that in the title. I don't know, something about a heart attack, but it's not a heart attack, okay? It was nothing like I had an unhealthy heart. It was just that there was like an extra pathway that these electrical signals were going into circles at times and causing a bunch of extra beats, which obviously, you know, that takes a strain on your heart. But it wasn't that my heart was unhealthy in and of itself. So, you know, it was just one of those things, right? So, I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. That's pretty much my story. You know, it was pretty intense, to be honest. I'm glad that part, you know, that part of my health issues is gone and done with. Thankfully, you know, the surgery worked and all that back in the day. Back in the day, I mean, like a few years ago, right? Like 5 years ago. I'm bad with time and math. Anyway, so let me know what you guys think about that story in the comment section below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully you guys have been sticking with me through the series. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you smack the like button, subscribe, like, comment, share, and all that awesome stuff. I will catch you guys in the next video, and like always, until then, game on. Darkness